today's modern world, an individual who's in the world and remains completely devoted la Hashem ul Teirasa. Yagdal Teira is pleased to present tonight's keynote speaker, Rabbi Isamar Ginsburg. He is a strategy and marketing advisor. He's a mentor and friend to business professionals worldwide. But most importantly, he's a Yid who devotes every day to Torah study and devotes every day to things what Hashem wants. Rabbi Isamar Ginsburg.
Shkoyach, Agitavach. Can we get a round of applause for Reb Zalman? It's a big schiz to speak here tonight to a Chusha V'tzibah like this one. Most of my audiences are, shall I say, not exactly this crowd. They don't have Rambams and Chassidus on their fingertips. But there's a problem here, that people that come to Malav Malka are coming for entertainment. They're coming to give tzedukah. And unfortunately, even though I got a really nice introduction, which I did not write, by the way, tip to speakers, always send the introduction you want them to say, to make sure you get them to say what you want. But people that come to Malav Malka are coming because they want to hear things delivered well. They may be inspirational, they may be entertainment. We heard some wonderful chazunas and singing before, we had a ventriloquist before. I am not that kind of speaker, unfortunately for you. I'm a content speaker. What that means is the following. It's not rah, rah, rah. When a doctor goes to a lecture entitled Breakthroughs in Research in the Vortex Pattern of Boldness, thank you, he's not expecting to come out, wow, that was a really good speech. He's expecting to come out with toichin, with value, that he got something there that he can take along with him. I was thinking it's sort of the way Torah is a tavlin. Obviously Torah has a taste. But when you have Torah, it makes everything else more enhanced. I want to tell you one little story. My parents, Zonzan Gesent, when I grew up, had a lot of Shabbos guests, all kinds of people. Anyone who needed a place to go was in my parents' house for Shabbos. And my father would, many times they were Bali Tshuva, and my father would ask them, how did you get here, what's your story, so on and so forth. One time, my father asked one of the guests, how did you get here? And he told him the following story. He said, I was on an airplane, and there was a Chabadska Bocher, a Lubavitcher Bocher, was going down the plane from beginning to end, from the front of the plane to the back of the plane, asking each person, excuse me, would you like to put on tefillin? Excuse me, would you like to put on tefillin? He said, I was not in the mood of putting on tefillin. I had no interest in putting on tefillin. So when he asked me, I said no. He continued down the plane. I watched him, and I saw that not a single person on the plane wanted to put on tefillin. But the Bucher didn't give up. He came down the plane a second time, and he asked everybody, would you like to put on tefillin? Would you like to put on tefillin? And again I said, no. And he went down the plane again from the beginning, first row, all the way to the end of the cabin, and nobody wanted to put on tefillin. He said, so I decided that the next time he comes back, if he comes back, I'm going to say yes. The poor guy Nebuch is trying, doing the mivtzoim, nothing's happening. He said, but the Bacher didn't come back the third time. But a couple of years later, I was someplace else, and some Lubavitcher asked me, would you like to put on tefillin? And I said, yes! And he said the guy himself was so surprised at the enthusiasm with which I said yes, but it was really the doing of that Lubavitcher Bocher on the airplane. I was still doing it for him. Anyway, he says, today I'm from Yid in the schus of that Bocher. There's many different lessons to be learned from the story, especially for a crowd like this one. But one of them is that a person has no idea what the little that they do, what it tuzoif. It's also obviously true, just like it's true in getting people to put on tefillin, it's also obviously true that when a person gives up from their time to be kivei itim, when a person gives from their money to tzedukah, to support a wonderful moshe like this one, there's no doubt that it has a tremendous, tremendous impact of which they ultimately have no idea how far what they do goes. Thank you very much.
Graciously Asher Koyach, Rabbi Ginsburg.